All right, everybody, welcome back. So what we're gonna do today is actually work on the 77 Mustang too. It's back at the shop to get some brake upgrades and actually do a 5-lug conversion. So what I'm gonna have to do is jack this thing up and we'll slide these axles out and see which ones I'm gonna need to order. Hopefully I have a set of them. I kind of looked around, didn't really see too much. Some people were saying maybe the Maverick axles will work on the car. And then what I'm gonna do is also pull these front rotors and calipers off. Probably end up going with a wilwood front brake setup. And then for the rear, I don't know if we're gonna leave it drum or go disc. And if I can't find anything, my buddy has an Explorer rear end, and I'll pull some measurements off of that and see if that thing will work, because that's already set up for disc brakes, which would be really awesome. That way this car has disc brakes all the way around. I think these have an offset like the Explorer does. So we'll see once we get this thing up off the ground and get these axles slid out. So let's get to jacking this thing up and then we'll slide these axles out. Break down these brake shoes for the rear and get those taken off. That way we can unbolt the axle. It's just coming through here, and there's 4 bolts that hold the axle on, and then should be able to slide right out. Should have enough room in between the truck and the Mustang, and the same with next to the other Mustang. Should be enough room to slide these axles out. So let's break these down and then unbolt this, slide it out. It's been a minute since I've done this, so bear with me, guys. I hate doing these things because they suck. Oh, you little shit. There we go. Then you got to come down to the bottom and get your spring that's next to your adjuster. And those can be a pain in the butt. Move you guys over here. There we go. You can take this stuff off. And just throw them in the drum. Slide the adjuster out. Make sure you keep all your hardware. If you're just changing the shoes, just make sure you keep all your hardware so you don't lose it. All right. So there we go. Wasn't too bad. So now we just got 4 bolts, 2 on each side, unbolt it, and we'll be able to slide the axle out of the car. And we'll move over to the other side, and we'll do the same thing, get the axle out. So let me grab, it's probably a 9/16, maybe a 5/8. I'm not sure. But I'll grab some socket and we'll get this thing slid out. I'll grab a oil pan so I don't leak diff oil everywhere, because alright, I'm back. So what I had to do is actually just hit it with a dead blow, and it knocked the seal probably loose, and it should just slide out now. I guess that whole thing comes with it, so you gotta pull the back of your drum, whatever, the dust shield and holding housing, whatever you call it, because the axle won't slide out. So I don't think so. Let me check. Oh, I think it might now. There we go. Cool. So there's that one. We'll get these bolts off, or these nuts off, and then I'll show you what I had to do. It wasn't that difficult. So this is all I did, is I just smacked it. Should have knocked it loose. Maybe not. There we go. Oh, a little mold. There it is. Bingo. There's this one. Sorry guys, I gotta move you, you're in my way. Cool. Alright, let's break the front down now. Things are super small. And then there is a Allen head, and it's 1/4 inch. Just undo this little bolt right here, and what this does is just holds this retainer. Just knock it out with a hammer. And then I don't know if this bracket comes off with the new wilwood setup that we're going to go with. My guess is yes. Not unless you got to use it and then you trim these pieces off. I'm not quite sure yet because we haven't got the parts in. I did find a set of axles. They're cut to length. So I will put that in the description below. Because you got to use the small bearing diameter. The axles that we're going to use, they come with both. You can get the small or the big So you go with the small, and they have a bunch of different lug nut patterns. So it's like 5 on 5, 5 on 4.5, I think, and then a couple other ones. So we'll just pop the dust shield off, and then that's it. We're done here. Same thing on the other side. No big deal. You guys don't need to watch that one. But yeah, we'll pop that dust shield off. I'll clean this spindle and check and make sure it's not scarred anywhere. No scoring from anything, but it looks pretty good. And these are 9/16 to get the dust shield off. Whoops, might end up doing, I would say, ball joints on this thing, just because I don't think they've ever been done. Might need to get a wrench on that one. So yeah, I'll throw those in the bead blaster, get those cleaned up, and then respray them black. And then, like I said, we might replace the ball joints because they're pretty haggard. Since we already got this all apart, might as well pull these out, replace the lowers and the uppers, and then yeah, once all the new stuff comes in, we'll throw it all on, and then we'll have to see which wheels she wants to go with. So that is it for today's video. So, if you guys did like today's video on seeing me pull the axles and the front spindles or not the front spindles, the rotors and the calipers off the 77 Mustang 2, that way we can see which axles I needed to order and what rotors and calipers we're going to go with. So the front we're going to go with wilwood, and for the rear, I don't know yet. I don't know if we're going to stick with drum, which we're going to have to measure and see which drums we're going to use since we're going to a 5-lug, or we're going to go to a disc brake in the rear also, which we'll have to change like the proportioning valve on the brake system, and then a few other things in the back. But wilwood does make a conversion for the back as well. Summit has their own brand too, so we're just going to check and see once the axles get in. That way I can get more of a measurement on those as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, also the notification bell, that way you guys stay notified when the parts do come in for the 77 Mustang. And thanks for watching. Later.